All right, guys. As promised, let's go over this review together, okay? All right. When in the directions, if it says simplify, okay, what that means is I want you guys to factor and then cancel out like terms, okay? Now, there's all sorts of different types of factoring that you're going to see. I mean, most of it is going to be like number one, where we're just doing the big X, okay? What multiplies to make 6 adds to make -5. So positive 6, -5, be -3, -2. And then on the bottom, what multiplies to make 9 and adds to make 6? -3, -3. And then I can cancel out 1x minus 3 with 1x minus 3. And that's it, guys. That's your answer. So for my answer, I will just write it's x minus 2 over x minus 3. That's fully simplified. Okay? All right, nice. Let's take a look at our next one here. Again, I'm going to do this x, -12. That's a 1 right there. If there's not a number there, that's a 1, right? And so this is going to go 4 times 3, positive 4, -3. Okay, as I look at that, the n plus 4s can cancel out. So I can just write this as n minus 3. Okay, you could put it over 1, but you don't need the 1 if it's on the bottom. And then make sure that you look for GCF questions like this, where like I can take a 5 out of both. I can also take an n out of both. So make sure that you look for that, okay? So 5n squared divided by 5n is n. 15n divided by 5n is 3. And then down here, I'll do the x, okay? Multiplies to make 18 and subtracts to make 3 would be 6 times 3, -6, positive 3. I mean, if you see something where nothing cancels out, then check your factoring again, because I'm going to give you guys only stuff that at least like one thing will cancel out, right? Okay. So my answer for this will be 5n and minus 6. Okay, good deal. Now, these are two different kind of factoring equations, both with a 5 in front, so they both have a leading coefficient, but you actually do these differently. Okay, if I look at the top one, 5, 4, 12, there is nothing that can factor out from that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do bottoms up. You guys remember this? It's like what multiplies to make 5 times 12 is 60, subtracts to make 4. Okay, so we think of all the things that make 60, like 4 and 15, 2 and 30, whatever, until eventually you get to one that makes 4, 6 and 10, right? Plus, minus. Now, the problem is whenever you do this, like, bottoms up thing, okay, I need to include the 5 in there. So I go divided by 5. Now, look at what happens. 6 over 5 does not divide. So I'm going to go ahead and just write that as, so remember it's like a plus 6 over 5, but anything left on the bottom comes up, okay? So that's where that one comes from. That, it does divide. 10 over 5 is 2, so that's a minus 2. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Let's see here. Okay, so on the bottom, here's the thing though. I can take out 5 from 5, 10, 5, 15, and 10, okay? So when I take out a 5, I'm left with a squared minus 3a plus 2. And then that's the thing I'm going to factor. So the 5 can stay out front. And so I'm saying what multiplies to make 2 and adds to make -3? So that's going to be plus 3 minus 1. No, it's not. Just kidding. That didn't sound right. Multiplies to make 2, adds to make -3 is -2 and -1. So it'll be a minus 2, a minus 1. When I go to cross these off, okay, a minus 2 cancels. So here's my answer. All right. You guys, the 5s cannot cancel because one's outside the parenthesis, but that one's not, and you can't factor a 5 out. So we're just going to leave it like this. Okay. Okay, good. Let's look at number 5. Okay. On the top, I can take a 2 out of both of these things, right? 2 and 18, I could factor out a 2. V squared minus 9. Remember, anytime you guys see this, that's a difference of 2 squares. So I'm actually going to write this like this. 2, and then a difference of squares goes v plus 3, v minus 3. Okay? Okay, on the bottom, I can take out a 3 from each of those. 3, 6, 9. And then when I do my x, okay, no, so this one's multiplies to make 3 and subtracts to make 2. That's 3 and 1 minus plus. So there's a 3 out front, and then it goes v minus 3, v plus 1. And so you guys can see that my v minus 3 cancels. My numbers do not cancel. So then my final answer is 2v plus 3 and 3v plus 1. Okay? All right, cool, cool. And our last simplifying one, see if I can take a 5 out of everything or anything out, and I can't. So I need to do this type of factoring. Okay, that's plus 20 plus 21. Multiplies to make 20 and adds to make 21 is 20 and 1. I need to divide both of those by 5. So this part right here, guys, 20 divided by 5 is 4. This part right here, bring the 5 up, 5v plus 1. Okay, because I couldn't reduce those 1/5, the 5 came up. Now this, just see if you could take something out. 6 and 24, I could take out a 6, and I'm left with v plus 4, so I have this nice boom, boom. And then everything that's left, that's my answer. Okay, so that's going to be 5v plus 1 over 6. All right, you guys, so that is how you are going to do simplifying, okay? Okay, perfect. Now, our next little section is called multiplying and dividing. Let's see if I can move this out of the way a bit. Maybe up to here. Okay. There we go. All right. So our next little part, guys, multiplying and dividing. You know what? It's actually the exact same thing. It's still going to be factor, cancel. The only thing that you need to be kind of careful about is when you are dividing, right, you want to make sure you flip the second one. Okay. So if I'm doing like regular multiply, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just the same thing I've been doing. I'm going to factor out that. What multiplies to make 2 and adds to make 3 is 2 and 1. To get -3, they're both negative. Okay, I'm going to factor out this one on the bottom. Let's see here. What multiplies to make 40 and adds to make 13? That's going to be 8 and 5, right? And then that's 1, and then that's x minus 1. That is not in the least bit satisfying. That's the only thing that crosses out. So, I mean, I guess it's all right. But, okay, so it's x minus 2 over x plus 8, x plus 5. And just give me the answer as a single fraction, and then just like all the terms together. Don't multiply it back out or anything, okay? Okay, our next one, though, so this is a dividing one. All right. that one is what multiplies to make 40 adds to make negative 13. That's going to be negative 8, negative 5 over n minus 8. Now, this, I am going to flip or do the reciprocal of the second fraction only, just that one, okay? So it's like the keep, change, flip, or however you want to remember it, multiply by the reciprocal, okay? The 7n goes up here, the n minus 5 goes down here. Now here's the thing, guys. Anything on the top with something on the bottom can cross out, whether it's crossways, like the n minus 5s, or whether it's on like the top and the bottom of the same term, that's fine as well. So like this would just give me 7n. Okay. Let's see. This one, the first term will stay the same. This one will flip. Okay. So the x minus 7 will go on the bottom. This needs to go on the top. Remember, guys, that when there's only two terms like that, and one of them's or they're both perfect squares, right? But if it's a number, that's a perfect square, so you recognize it like 49. We go like this. One is x plus 7, one is x minus 7. Cancel that out. And so my answer is x plus 7 over x minus 3. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's do that. What multiplies to make 28 adds to make 11? That's going to be 7 and 4. So k minus 7, k minus 4. This one's not flipping because it's multiply, okay? And then on the bottom, that one is going to be what multiplies to make 24 and adds to make 10. I was going to say 8 and 3, but no, 6 and 4, right? Okay, and then it's just like cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. And my simplified answer is k minus 7 over k minus 1. Okay, so this is our multiply and divide section. Okay, so here's like a few more that we're going to do with like a little bit more complicated factoring. Not super complicated, you guys, just a little bit more. Okay, so look, like if I am trying to find the GCF 10, 30, and 20, I can take out a 10. And then I can still factor what's left over because I go, what multiplies to make 2 adds to make 3. That's plus 2 plus 1. Even something as simple as like 2v plus 4, still see if you can take something out. Sorry, you guys can't really see my x that I made there, but there you go. You can see that. Okay. 2v plus 4, I can take a 2 out of that and have v plus 2. All right. Don't forget to flip this side. So a v minus 5 goes on the top. And then on the bottom, 5 and 5, well, I could take out a 5, v plus 1. Okay, so v plus 1, v plus 1, v plus 2, v plus 2. Now, maybe you see like the 10 and 2 first, so that's fine. 2 goes into 10 5 times. But then look, guys, we still have a 5 and a 5. And that can keep going to 1 and 1, you know? So it's like everything pretty much canceled out here except for v plus 5 on the top. And then everything else was able to cancel out. Okay? Move that a little bit over. All right, cool. Great. Let's take a look at number 12. These look like all GCF questions, okay? Let's see. 6, 24, I can take out a 6. And then also p squared and p, I can take out a p. So I'm left with p minus 4. Okay, 5p plus 7. Literally can't do anything with that. So then, okay, 30 and 42, I can take out a 6. And then p squared and p, I can take out a p. So that gives me 5p plus 7. Would you look at that? So I can cross off 5p plus 7 and 6 p. Okay? So what I have left is p minus 4 over 3. Okay, check out number 13. Let's see. Let's do multiplies to make 50, negative 50 adds to make 5. That's going to be 5 and 10 minus 5 plus 10. Okay, and then this one, let's multiply to make 21, subtract to make 4. That's going to give me minus 7 plus 3. That has a 6 on top. And then this is just going to be a GCF. 6 and 60 divided by 6. Whoops. 6 and n plus 10. Okay, cool. 6 and 6 and n plus 10 and n plus 10. All right, and so everything left over is my answer. Give myself a little bit of room to write this. Okay, so it's going to be n minus 5 over n minus 7 n plus 3. All right, the rest of those are gone. Okay, and then our last one here is a dividing one. Difference of squares, all right? Hopefully you guys saw that difference of squares. One is n plus 2 and minus 2 over 4. Okay, I'm going to flip this. The one that goes on the top with a 4 and a 36, I can take a 4 out of that because I get n minus 9. The one that goes on the bottom, let me see what multiplies to make 14 and adds to make 9, 7 and 2. Okay, so that's going to be plus 7 plus 2. So I can cross off a 4 and a plus 2, and that's it. Okay, so on the top, I have an n minus 2, an n minus 9, and then an n plus 7 on the bottom. So again, sometimes you can only cross off like 1 or 2 things, but that's all right. It'll still work. Okay, all right. So now let's go ahead and we're going to tackle the next couple parts, adding, subtracting, and solving, just like slightly more difficult, okay?